Now, I start with the presidential spokesman, Mr. Daniel Buhari, special advisor to the president on media and policy, public policy. And he said here that 2023 campaign cycle, Mr. Peter Obi was going around churches. That his campaign was largely or essentially religious driven, based on religious sentiments, and he was trying to drive a wedge amongst the major faith, Islam and Christians. And that in this 2027 cycle, the North are wiser. They will not fall sucker for all of that gimmick. How do you respond?
Well, I don't know where that is coming from. And traditionally,
he cited examples.
I said traditionally, I can make exception of talking about the thoughts of an individual, not really consider the individual, but the way, the potency of that thought, or the rational nature, or the logic behind the conception of the mind, the architecture of the mind, or architecture of thought. This is completely nonsensical, to say the least, because there are benchmarks used to measure the person's sense of penetration of geographies. In 2023, within a few months of an insurgent political campaign, will be built from a base. You must have a base in power, a base of power, before you can even launch a presidential campaign. If you don't have it, it will be a non-event for you. So you have a base, solid southeast base, substantial south base, and a solid group within the southwest even, and then within the middle belt region. The idea is to anchor this thing beyond these four geographies or four geopolitical horizons, to bring in the northeast and bring in the northwest into the conversation, to have a complete national political picture. That's a work in progress. There's no way we could have accomplished that work in 2023, given the limited time he had to transition from a PDP already dead on arrival because of lack of zoning to his emergence as a candidate of the Labour Party, to that quick short election, campaign and election that took place. Now we have almost 8-9 months to get it done. For him to get it done. What did he begin to do? He started a very powerful movement within the North. He visited Bauchi State, for example, 4 or 5 times, conversing with the governor of Bauchi State, who, even though he's not in NDC, he's in APM, you see, within the broad spectrum of opposition politics, that will still be helpful somewhere down the line during the campaign, to ensure that he has that sense of opening there. I can bet you that great leaders like El-Rufai, who is unfortunately in detention for no just cause. It's a matter of debate. I've discussed some other place. And then you have people like Sule Lamido. Then I personally will tell you how they received it to be in 2023, with a sense of even disdain and so on. We don't know what they're up to. Now, with a sense that, look, it's possible we can do it. One person refused to be part of his campaign, part of his structure in 2023. Now, part of them are in NDC. And the party has zoned the presidency to the south and the vice presidency to the north in a way. Or this zoned the president to the north in 2031. And one person has come out to say, I endorse this arrangement. It's for inclusion and national unity. That's an answer to the person you talked about. But if you have the biggest name in modern politics today in terms of energy, charisma, populism, organic grassroots appeal, with the red rounded card all over the north, the biggest force is with P2P in a party that lays bare the logicality of this kind of thought. And then why somebody, we end up in within a cloud of mischief, because they're working for a president. Now, the problem we have with this government, and those who speak for the president, those I call a raucous band of noisy aides, is that they have nothing to tell the people. Leave Mr. P2B and Kwankwaso and other leaders of the opposition alone. Focus on the next election. You cannot rhetoricize this gamble that the president has to do it again. You must come there with a calling card. This is what this president has accomplished. The opposition can rhetoricize it. We will do this, we will do that, we give you heaven and earth, we give you Dorado. The people may buy it. But the only way they will not buy it is for you to say, hello, hold it there. This is what the president has accomplished. But he can't do that because he has to run on his record. That record is shabby. And for me, shameful in many regards. He has even taken the failures of the Buhari presidency, embraced it, and taken it to a higher level of glory. Or, in glory, not just glory, of infamy. Correct word. On the economic front, disaster. On the security front, disaster. On living standard front, disaster. On people's sense of self, of sense of prosperity, of welfare, of identifying themselves as Nigerian, disaster. Every single indices. Look at the price of petroleum products with the war raging in the Middle East. Not even a word from the government in a coherent form to say, we hear your cry. We're making more money. We are sinking this money in. Like even Abacha did with PTF. Jonathan did with Shopee. Even Buhari did his own. No, nothing to write home about. You buy diesel at 2,000 plus, you buy fuel at 1,400, you buy cooking gas, unreachable for the people. Prices of staple food stuff, price of medicine, for those with comorbidities, underlying conditions. This is a calling card of the government. Failure. The question that is even laughable is when you ask Nigerians in 2027 for the election, are you better now or well off now than you were 29 May 2023? The answer will be resounding, no, we are not. So after 8 years of alleged failure in 2023, Nigerians are telling you that this moment is worse off for them than you were then. This government has lost its way.
Brilliant. Final question there, Prof. 2027. So we're going to go back to, some have said we're going back to 2023 scenario where you have these strong actors standing alone, whereas the idea was to have all of them coalesce so that they can face this monster in inverted commas. How do you read that? Is that correct?
First and foremost, I don't know how many presidents globally that have done better in their second term than they did in their first term. Obama came with, yes we can, spirit of change and smashed through John McCain. It was almost like, how did they describe it in the US there? It was like a total sweep. Home run, slam dunk. He won almost everywhere. In 2012 was a bitter awakening for him. Reckoning. Oh, this man is like an ordinary politician. We thought we saw something new, something different. No, it's not different. His votes plummeted. He scored far less and did far worse than he did in 2008. Jonathan, yes, Bidoni. People thought Bidoni was going to win, but he didn't. But it was a narrow call. Yeah. 2011, Mr. Shoeless, Jonathan, breath of fresh air, PhD holder. People say, oh my God, this guy is different, uniquely different from what we've been seeing. They could imagine him going to school without shoes. Yes. That humble beginnings. He smashed through 2011. What happened in 2015? He lost and conceded. Go and see what Buhari did. 2015 and 2019. Many people thought that Article 1 was somehow or the other I couldn't put it through. So there's always a diminishment for the second time. That's why I said this president will run on his record. So he scored 8 million votes 2023. So I'm giving it that you're going to lose bleed away about 40-50% of his votes. So I'm giving you no more than 4 million votes this time around.
Seriously?
Of course, because it's going to bleed down. It's going to add more. Wow. As it is historical. Wow. Give examples anywhere you like. It's difficult. They have been done. So you can fact check me.
All the governors and all this.
I'm saying it's a record that's going to power you through. Facts now, what you have done. Yeah. Governor has only one vote. Or will you go and sit down, carry money, and then do what? Go and buy the votes there? People wouldn't allow that to happen this time around, for God's sake. So only one man, one woman, one vote. The record is disastrous. That will not get more than 3, 4, 5 million votes. Why will you get it? I said history has shown that he will do far less than he did before. Because the people have now seen through him. Now, Peter B scored 6-point-something million votes without any presence in the two corridors. What they typically call the Kanuri corridor and the Fulani corridor of the west. The other one is in the east. That has one person bestriding both corridors. We don't even know many who will join the ranks of the campaign down the line. So if he has 6-point-something million votes, give him an extra 3 or 4 million votes or more. So he's going to hit close to 10, 11 million votes. So, I don't know about that, I don't want to talk about that formation. I'm talking about P2B and Kwankwaso, likely a ticket, and then against Bola Tinubu and so on. Anybody else can come in information and do it. But once you do that, which you've done before, as P2B, with Kwankwaso and possibly partnering with him, having accepted the zoning, the number 2031 is
home run.
Home run.
Nice.